What's happening, people? What's going on? I'd like to welcome y'all to another One Take review. What? No, it's not. Marvel TV Talk. My bad. I'm tripping. I'm so used to saying One Take review, but this is a Marvel TV Talk, and we're talking about The Gifted episode 5 and The Inhumans episode 6. I'm gonna start off with the Inhumans. I know people probably don't like that, but I don't think I want to. I think I can actually say this about the Inhumans. I feel like this episode probably was the best episode of the Inhumans. Granted that that's not just necessarily saying a lot, but during this episode, I didn't feel as though I was gonna rip my hair out and tear my beard off and jump out second story window onto the top of my head. I feel like I enjoyed it. To be honest, I really enjoyed it, and I felt like I said I'm gonna keep watching because I feel like eventually it's gonna get to a point to where I'm not gonna necessarily hate this show and how the way it's going. I feel like it'll pick up eventually, even though it's not gonna be that many episodes. I said eventually it's gonna be an episode to where you like. And I feel like this was kind of the episodes where I kind of liked it. Because I said once they got the group back together and then they started doing more stuff, this was going to be a much more enjoyable thing. Because I feel like everybody separated was so bland and so disconnected. And it disconnected with the fans and everything. And I know a lot of people still hate it, which is understandable for me. But I felt like this was probably the best episode so far. Other than, I like the first episode. I'm not going to lie. I really enjoyed the first episode after episode 2, it really much got sick, man. But yeah, we get some more stuff. And also I found like I said, I've never read any of the Inhumans comics. Me myself, I probably should read up on about it. I'm trying to wait till some people refer me to some like certain ones, like certain issues or something I should pick up to like really get into it to see exactly the best part of the Inhumans. But we've seen Crystal, and I've learned that her powers is pretty much control the elements, and and she used that to get like Babel's attention. Her and I think the guy's name is Blake. They went up to like the highest point on the island to where they they shot lightning and they even noticed that where Crystal's at. And also they sent Karnak and Gorgon to go retrieve the humans because they called them and told them they had them. Also, what's his name? Mistus, the guy who has the mask on his face, because I think he got like a solar beam type thing going. My issue is, I don't know if that's how he is in the comic or what, but to me, his clothes are too big. His clothes are too big, and it's kind of annoying. Even though I know he's pretty much like, I think he's like the strongest or second strongest person out of the Inhumans, but to me his character is so annoying. Also, they probably should have kept Medusa's hair because her without her hair, to me the only thing that's killing this show for me is that I haven't found a character to connect to. No character has just stuck out and it makes you want to really, really root for him. Black Bolt's character, Black Bolt hasn't used his powers yet. So it's getting like it's called the Inhumans, but we're not really seeing them do anything. It's not like the Gifted. But I thought I just actually was a good episode and it seemed like I'm dishing on it. But I still feel like this episode was good because I like the stuff with Louise, Blake, and Blake's ex-girlfriend, how they escaped that whole thing. I like the whole reunion thing. That was great with me. Gorgon's death, I felt like was cool. Also, but it still bothered me that he had on boots. Can he turn his hooves into boots whenever he gets ready? It's kind of like a thing I wonder, like, because if he can, that's kind of like not a cool power. Because think about this. Hear me out. We also learned that what's her name can't continue to keep coming back from the dead. Eventually she's gonna die and stay dead. But I can't think of her name, even though I like her character and she's fine. True, it is what it is. But the fact that Gorgon has hooves, and that was one line. He's like, "What is bullets when you have hooves?" I'm like, everything. Ask every animal that's been killed by bullets which one they rather had, the bullets or the hooves. Right? I'm like, okay, but anyway, that was a horrible line. Karnak once again can't use his power. I thought when he was walking into the building and they had the gun on him, she's like, "It's a trap." I still probably would shot him. Like, just like, you're going to have to use your power. You got to show me what you bought. And he's walking so timidly, knowing that like if she shoots him, he pretty much is fucked. Well, yeah, back to Gorgon. The whole thing with, does he have boots or hooves, or can he switch between the two? Either way, his boots have the same effect as his hooves, so it's kind of like I honestly don't get that whole thing. And yeah, we Maximus pretty much found out about the people against the revolt, and he catches them, and we see a little bit of his background, his training and stuff like that. Like I said, overall, just cool episode. Like I said, it wasn't that much. It was one fight scene in particular between Gorgon and the lady. That was a pretty dope fight scene, and Maximus being on top of his game, because I knew he was too smart. It didn't make it. It never made you believe that they were a step ahead of Maximus. Okay, that's my only thing. And him using the boys where they can see that wasn't that also kind of helped me realize like they're not getting over Maximus. The revolt's not gonna work. So on to the Gifted, which, like I said, one of the best things on TV right now. Pick up where we left off, and they're trying to ditch Signal Services, and Polaris and Eclipse, they go their own way to get the trackers off them. And the scene where they shot down Joy was amazing. I feel like it's just like, oh, this is how they work as a team, and it just showing as soon as they got in the car together. And you know, they escape, and also they go back into the Mutant Underground, and you see how the guy who Reed was with, he let us know like, yo, this guy was working for Signal Service. We can't just let him back in. Oh, you're sorry? And he pretty much predicted everything Reed was gonna say. And we had this whole thing going on between them, which was dope. But another underlying storyline that pretty much came to blows this episode was the whole thing with Blink and Dreamer. And she realized like, hey, did you put a memory in my head? Like, stay the fuck out of my head. But only thing I was thinking about like, I understand you mad at her right now, but if I were you, I would still tell her, take that out of my head, take this memory out of my head, and leave me alone. Don't just stay the fuck away from me. That's what I probably would have did. Also, at the beginning of this episode, we saw Jace Turner's, the guy from Signal Service. We saw how his daughter died. Even though her little hard-headed ass, he called about 3 times. Now, I know my mama, after the first time, if I ain't got my ass over there, the second time, gonna be a lot of cuss words, and I'll go have to. But I ain't looking at it like that. Either way, and I think it was called the incident of 715, in which like a peaceful mutant protest, and enough things got out of hand, which like most peaceful protesters usually do. They usually get out of hand. That's with us. And the thing about how much worse it would probably be with mutants, and the events of that caused his daughter's death. I think, honestly, in my mind, I think Polaris knows more about that than she's letting on. This was 4 years ago, so at that time, Polaris was who she is now. So it's kind of makes you wonder. Also, they were trying to get information on how Pulse is working with them now, and Jason's pretty much not trying to give them any information. Them capturing him was a big thing because I think they needed to, and the fact that Dreamer put a different different memory in his head, but I think it's not going to do. It's really, I think it's going to make the situation worse because when he really thinks about, okay, and then they put a memory that his daughter was still alive, and he gets home kissing his wife, talking about, I'm going to take my baby in, and you have to relive the fact that your daughter died twice after 4 years after the fact, and you're looking for news. Like, it's a pretty bad thing. Even though she knows, she's like, I can't just leave him. She knew that she couldn't leave him in that state because lo and behold, it's gonna fuck his head up. And she didn't want to mess with his head like that. It's just after they threw the tear gas, they had to get out of there. Also, a couple of other characters that really stood out for me is Andy. Like I said, I always felt like Andy's gonna be a liability one because of his temper, but I felt like he did a good job this episode, using his blood to help I think his name is Troy out, And the one charger on him, she split him right down the middle. Like, that is a gruesome scene. And like, I was over there, I gotta rub my hands or something when I'm seeing shit like that. So, but the fact that the way they used their powers was so unique, and the other mutants saw it, and like how they really trying to help them, and I thought it's a big coming together episode. Also, we learned about what's gonna happen to the mutants who get sent down to the headquarters down in BR. Baton Rouge, and I think they're gonna try to some kind of way get down there or something along those lines. Overall, just a good episode. Like I said, I like the direction the gift is going. I hope he keeps it up. They got some good people over there looking over this show, so I hope it keeps going down the path it's going. I don't know necessarily where it can end up, just based off the fact of, because when shit went down, they start hitting all mutant spots, whether they did something or not. They just started hitting all mutant spots, and they started. It's not like they was looking for a particular person. They just were hitting mutant spots, just discriminating against mutants. So that's where it kind of make you wonder, like, because we know how the X-Men universe is. Mutants are never looked at as like equals or good people, or that no matter what they do, they're always looked at as bad. And if you're going on, like, you don't, like, to me, it's just where it's at now, and based off how I know how mutants work in comics, and how the X-Men have worked, and how the Brotherhood, all those different things factor in this, because apparently they've had the X-Men, they've had the Brotherhood, people of that nation. We all know how the Brotherhood operated, we all know how the X-Men operated, but it just don't seem like there's a way mutants can go in which this can all turn out positive for them. Okay, that's like, ultimately, you're either going to be in hiding or you're going to be discriminated against every day, because most of these people have records now. They have them on file. You know, they always going to be wanted. So you always, I always got to have eyes in the back of your head. But maybe they have something planned for the future, and I just can't. My mind just ain't big enough to see it. Hopefully, like I said, I'm enjoying the hell out of it. That's Marvel TV Talk for this week. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel for more Marvel TV Talk covering The Gifted and Marvels Inhumans. Catch up with you guys later.